And we are back here in our Madden 26 franchise here on Champion Sons with the Pittsburgh Steelers leading off this episode with a divisional matchup against the Baltimore Ravens in weather condition that I think can best be described as the way everybody feels about the Baltimore Ravens except for their fan base. Just a drizzle, rainy, gloomy kind of day because that's what it's like playing in and probably living in Baltimore as well. Now they are 9-3, we are 8-4. This is a big division matchup. So welcome back to the channel for those of you who are returning, and welcome if you are new here to Champion Sons. Now before we get into this division matchup, we have a couple different things that we need to look at and kind of figure out what we are going to do here as far as game planning to, well, stop somebody like Lamar Jackson. Our defense, not known for being the stiffest defense in the world, this is going to be kind of tough. They have holes all across their offensive line. This is from our defensive coordinator. Keep in mind, we have the worst defense in the league. That show them different looks, stunts, and other complex movements. Throw some stuff in. A part of me wants to say yeah, because they're going to... Every team has just wrecked the ball on us constantly through the air, so why the hell not? We've tried to stop the ball through the pass game through the air. Let's try to disrupt it now from the front seven, from that defensive line. I mean, I guess it's not something that we've game planned for yet, but it technically is something that we have kind of thought about, or tried to do at least. So here we come into the film room meeting with our team. Let's see, this game will win in the trenches. We need to pressure on every down, whether it's run or pass. And Tavondre Sweat, our trade acquisition, steps up. Challenge accepted, coach. They can try to double me, but it won't matter. I've played this game long enough to know that, yeah, it does definitely matter. We'll just say that much for sure, right? Outside the line, we have to be prepared to clean up as plays break down. Nothing extra allowed. Yeah, that's kind of tough to do, but hey, we'll see what we can pull off. Now, just as a quick refresher for everybody with what happened last week in a tough matchup against the Bills, it ended up being a final minute drive after that fumble and the recovery by Ramsey that allowed us to put up the game-winning field goal as time expired. So we got that going for us. Now, other teams like Washington, they are undefeated this season, and they do end up staying that way with big plays like that happening, as Daniels has Washington at 12-0 after a 23-17 victory over the now 5-7 Denver Broncos. So a hell of a season that they've got working out for them. And then let's take a look at the Giants and the Patriots. Giants 6-6. First time they've been this deep in a season and 500 in a while, but that did not last long, as the Patriots and Drake May would take them down 20-14. Jackson Dart with 17 of 28 in the game, not too shabby in all reality. So there's some checkup from the games last week and our game last episode. So let's jump into the more important one this episode, as we have ourselves here on a drive trailing 7-0 already, about just under 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Find ourselves trailing, need to come back. It's something that we've caught ourselves in quite a bit this season. All right, so 2nd and 7. Rodgers going to be in the shotgun, 3-wide set, has the snap in hand, fires it over. He's going to hit DK Metcalf, who bounces off one tackle and is brought down after just a few-yard gain. Nothing big going on there. And so here we come out under center now. 2 tight ends, 2 receivers. Everybody's up in close. Freiermuth in motion. Handoff to Gainwell. Hole opens up, and surprisingly enough, on a 3rd and short, we're able to actually get the first down. That doesn't happen very often for us with run plays on 3rd and short, so I'm glad to see it occurring now, at least at some point in the season, right? So here we come out 1st and 10 from the 20, just outside the red zone. Rodgers under center, 3 receiver set. Play action, Rodgers hit as he threw, and there was really nothing that, maybe if he had gotten the pass off to Freiermuth, he could have gotten a little extra yards with it, but I'm just not too sure about that. So 2nd and 10 now. Rodgers in the shotgun. 3 receivers left. Has the snap in hand. Pressure comes. Fires it. What was he doing? I don't even know who Rodgers was throwing it to. We had Scourbeck in the slot. And then Calvin Austin was wide left, and I think he was trying to cut in, but there was about 5 purple jerseys, and I mean, I guess Rodgers did hit one of them. I don't know why or where he was trying to go with that. I really don't. And that would lead the Ravens to a 14-0 lead. And after that, our defense had to punt, our offense had to punt, and our defense, Ramsey is just too old to truck people. He really wanted to put a hard hit, figuring maybe knock the ball loose or something. But Zay Flowers said, "Not today, old timer, not today." Said, "You don't have the old man strength just yet in your life." And Zay Flowers, he bounces off of him. I mean, just like a fart in the wind, boom, then gone. Zay Flowers scores, and now we're down 21-0. I mean, you got to be kidding me, right? So down 21-0 later in the second, after finally forcing a punt, Juan Thornhill gets the block. Holcomb picks that one up and slips. Oh my God, why is he slipping? This is ridiculous. But we actually had a blocked punt. Now, I blocked plenty of field goals in this game. Not plenty, I blocked a couple, at least in this game. But I haven't done a punt block in about a couple different Madden versions. So I'm glad to see we finally actually got one on here. And maybe this can help us get a little bit of an advantage, trailing 21-0, get some momentum going as Freiermuth actually catches the ball, which that has been a struggle for our offense in this first half, dealing with the rain. So 2nd and 7 now for our Pittsburgh Steelers offense coming off the block punt. You can still look at the total yardage. Baltimore 258, Pittsburgh 70. Our offense has been lackluster, to say the least, since that interception. Now we hand that one to Gainwell, and he's actually finding spots in the middle. All right, that's pretty good to see. I like having that little option right there for us. Gainwell picking up some decent yardage. 1st and 10 now for our Steelers, as we are at the 20-yard line once again. The ill-fated 20, the same place we were when Rodgers and Roquan Smith decided to make a connection. And hopefully we don't repeat that. So Rodgers on 1st and 10 fires that into the end zone, looking for Austin, and he's got him. Touchdown Steelers. Oh, my goodness. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Calvin Austin on that one. Got a little bit of space, and Rodgers actually delivered a beautiful pass right there. And that one dropped right in the bucket, feet down in the end zone, and at least we put something up on the scoreboard. But when you're down by 21 points, every comeback is just one play at a time. So down by 14 now. Ravens have the balls. They're firing it over the middle of their tight ends, and we couldn't stop anybody. Jesus. 4 tackles later, we finally bring them down at the 26-yard line. Ravens back out in a pistol formation. Got the snap in hand. What? Lamar Jackson tried to run, but he couldn't go anywhere. Derek Harmon, too quick up the middle. Now, if you notice, that was not Tavondre Sweat. That was Derek Harmon. He came flying up the middle and actually, I guess he shocked Lamar. He didn't expect the pressure to come that fast and just couldn't escape with the wet grassy turf. That's pretty funny. All right, so 42 seconds left in the first half. Ravens lead 21-0. Henry goes in motion around Lamar. Has the snap, play action, fires that deep over the middle for Flowers, and he's got it. Oh, my God, our defensive backs suck. I mean, okay, so they're highly rated, but they are old and slow. And that's why we're trailing 28-7 right now. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous in the first half. 28-7. See how many other teams are playing as bad as we are here. Here in this halftime report. Cowboys and the Lions. Cowboys and the Lions always be playing each other. Is that Goff? It didn't look like Goff's number. But yeah, that is Goff firing it over to St. Brown there, going off the deep end for about 90 yards. As Goff and the Lions beat the Cowboys 28-7. Cowboys slide to 4-9 on the season. Things just don't seem to be getting any better in Big D. Now heading back down south to Atlanta. The Seahawks traveling to the Falcon territory here. And in the first half, Penix drops that dime in. Who's that? Drake London, I believe. Yeah, drops that dime into Drake London, and Penix and the Falcons lead the Seahawks 21-7 at the halftime. Seahawks are 7-5, and they started out pretty strong. Even after we beat them early in the season, they maintained a pretty good record. But they seem to be faltering now since getting past the midpoint. So heading over to Lambeau Field as the Packers take on the Bears, and Jordan Love has the Packers in the lead at 7-6 coming into the half. Williams 6 of 9 for 65. Jordan Love 13 of 15 for 105, and that touchdown to Watkins that we just saw. So a lot of different things happening. NFC South, Saints and Bucks tied at 10 at the half. Washington leads Minnesota 14-10 at the half. A lot of different action going on around the league. Good to see some scores a little closer than ours. Rodgers 12 of 17 for 106. Lamar Jack 20 of 21 for 280 yards. That could be a problem with why we're down by freaking 21 points again. You know, just a thought. You know, not a fact, but just a thought. So here we come out, and to start our second half, Gainwell running with a purpose. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Big time run to the 42-yard line on the plus side of the field now. Hitting into Ravens territory. Gainwell bouncing off tacklers there. And he's trying to be like a skinny version of Derrick Henry without the stiff arm capability, as he did break some tackles before he finally got brought down. So now it's 1st and 10. Our opening possession, if we get a big, quick score, that would actually just work out so much better for us. Rodgers now in the shotgun. Freiermuth goes in motion, has the snap. He fires it deep to the left side for Metcalf, and he's got it, and he's going to take it in easy. Touchdown, Steelers. Oh, my goodness. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. DK Metcalf finally got behind his defender. He finally got behind him, got some space about him, and Rodgers, I mean, hell, if I could throw the football that far, I could have dropped it in. He was that wide open. But Rodgers drops it in a little easy with just a flick of the wrist, it seems like. And, hey, at least we've now cut their lead down to 14 points as it's 14-28. Now a little later in the third, after Baltimore's added a field goal. Damn it, just can't seem to stop him. 14-31. Gainwell says, I'll keep trying to at least come back on them. Limit them to field goals, and we continue to get touchdowns. That's just how this game works, and we can come back. Gainwell right up the middle for big-time yardage. He's really come along in this back half of the season so far. So 1st and 10 now from the 25. Rodgers going to be in a 5-wide set. Metcalf wide left. Austin is in the slot right. Rodgers has the snap in hand. Pressure comes. Fires over the middle, and he's going to hit. Who's that little Scotty boy? That's old Scotty Miller making the catch on the drag pattern. At least he held on to it, because that would have been intercepted if he didn't. He makes it 2nd and 8. So 3 minutes remaining here in the third. Rodgers in the shotgun. Trips to the left side. Has the snap in hand, hands it off to Caleb Johnson. Up the middle, big hole open up on the draw play, and that's going to make it 3rd and inches. Good play call on that one, keeping this defense guessing. Not really something we do all that well, but, hey, we did it that time, and that's what matters. So here we come out in I formation. 2 tight ends to the right side on the line. Rodgers under center, has the snap, hands it to Jonnu Smith at the fullback position, who busted through the line, and no one was really there to hit him, and he got kind of confused. It looked like he didn't know what to do with himself. And Jonnu Smith picks up good yardage down to the 8. That's going to give us a 1st and goal to go. 8 yards away from trying to make this thing a 10-point ball game. Rodgers under center once again. 2 tight ends still in. Rodgers changing things up before the snap and shifts Anderson from right to left across the formation. Oh, and there's a little, was that a false start? They're going to call that a false start. Yeah, God dang it. I don't know what our left tackle was thinking. Why did he do that? I really don't know. Freiermuth, he's going to be out for a few plays. Hopefully we'll be able to see him back before the end of this one. So now 1st and goal from the 13. Rodgers has the snap in hand, fires over the middle for Metcalf, who made the catch. Woo, cut in front of that defender, got to the point of action. And he makes a catch and is brought down at the 2-yard line. That's going to make it 2nd and goal from the 2. About minute 50 remaining in the third quarter. Rodgers in the shotgun. 3 receiver set. Hands off to Gainwell up the middle. And he actually at least picked up a yard. Normally that gets stopped for a loss. But Gainwell is actually picking up a yardage. Okay, now we're talking. Things are improving. 3rd and goal. Here we come out. About half a yard to go, really. Rodgers in a shotgun, 4-wide set. Sends Gainwell in motion. Rodgers has the snap, throws it out to Gainwell, makes a catch, and he takes it in easy. Touchdown, Steelers. Oh, my goodness. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. And that was a big-time play here by Gainwell. And by this Steelers offense, that's going to cut their lead down to 10 at this point. Make it 21-31 here in the third quarter as linemen are ruining imaginary jump rope celebrations. I don't understand that, but okay. I guess all celebrations have to end. Why not let it be a fat guy that ends it? Good point. Good point, Madden. All right, so now we are back in this thing. But it's up to our defense to make something happen. So a little later here in the fourth quarter now, under 9 minutes to go, the Ravens have added a field goal. We've added a touchdown. We're still trailing 34-28, but this time Highsmith maintains his gap, maintains his responsibility, and as soon as Jackson started to scramble, right into his arms, and that's going to make it 3rd and 18 after that sack. So the Ravens sitting back in a shotgun formation has the snap. Jackson takes off to the left side, throws that one up. It's going to be intercepted by Thornhill, coming right back at him at the 30. Fighting forward and brought down at the 21-yard line. This defense needed a big play, and we finally got it on that one. Juan Thornhill just jumped that route. I mean, that was probably one of the easier routes for him to jump. I'm surprised Jackson didn't take off in all reality. I think they probably really should have, because Flowers, I mean, if you look at him, there's no way he was going to catch that ball. No, there's no way. Jackson probably should have just taken off, and that one ends up being a big-time play for this defense. Now, 8.5 minutes to go, we trailed by 6 points. Rodgers under center, 2 tight end, 2 receivers. Hands off to Gainwell, left side up, takes it up the middle, and he's going to be brought down after just a 3-yard gain on that one. 2nd and 7 from inside the red zone at the 18-yard line. Staying in the shotgun, trips left. Jonnu Smith is in the slot right. Rodgers has the snap. Fires over the middle, and he hits Calvin Austin, but just unable to hold on to that one. And that's going to make it 3rd and 7 now. Trailing by 6. A field goal cuts that lead in half. If we get a touchdown, we can take the lead ourselves. So 3rd and 7. Rodgers fires that one to the left side. He's going to hit Calvin on. Breaks a tackle. He dropped the last catch, and this time he breaks a tackle. And that's going to get us down to the 5-yard line now. A great run and catch after by this Calvin Austin receiver. He's actually been incredibly good for us this season. He's our primary speedster. He's super fast when you actually put the ball in his hands, and he's got great hands to make just about any catch, it seems like, except for the one before that. So 1st and goal from the 5. Rodgers hands that to Gainwell. A whole little hole opened up, but then it got blocked off immediately as the Ravens collapsed down on it. That's going to make it 2nd and goal from the 3 now. Our offense comes out, I-right formation. Rodgers under center, 2 receivers set. Has the snap, play action. Rodgers rolls out to his right and lofts that one up and out of the end zone. And that was just a throwaway ball to avoid the sack. 3rd and goal now from the 3. So 3rd and goal, Rodgers under center, 2 tight ends this time. Looking over the defense, Rodgers has the snap in hand. Fires it to the left side. He's going to hit Washington. Touchdown Steelers. And now we're just 1 extra point away from the lead. Oh, my goodness. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Darnell Washington, who you normally don't see a whole lot of him being 3rd on the depth chart. Well, Freiermuth has been slow to come back into this one. Washington has been called upon, and man, did he answer, and he answered well on that play. Made that catch, and that's going to give us an opportunity to take the lead with an extra point, which we would make and do. So now here come the Ravens. We still have to stop them, which has been a true struggle, but we've done a lot better this second half. As we're getting pressure, Jackson rolls out to the left side. He goes taking off to the sideline. Hit, and he fumbles it. But Holcomb lets it bounce off his helmet out of bounds a couple different times. All right, so that's 2nd and 5. After that 5-yard gain, good collapsing in by the defense down the field. So Jackson calling an audible as the field shifts for the offense from the right to the left. Jackson has the snap. Quick throw over the middle to hit his, I think that's his tight end coming across the middle. Just didn't look like Mark Andrews. But he makes the catch either way. And that is going to be stopped short of the line to gain. It's now 3rd and 4 as that pass play went for only about a yard. 3rd and 4, 3.5 minutes remaining in this one in the fourth quarter. Jackson in the shotgun sends a tight end in motion. Across the formation, right to left. Has the snap in hand. Clean pocket, closes in late, toss up to Flowers, and that jump ball between Flowers and Darius Slay, and that one just falls to the turf. Not so much a great play made by Darius Slay, but, it is what it is. Now the Ravens would punt it back, and we would score an additional touchdown on them. Why the hell not, right? As we put that one in, and that's going to give us the lead and the victory, 42-34. A major comeback victory when you're down 28-7 at half. All right, 28-7, and you outscore that opponent 35-6 going, through the second half of football. That was an impressive comeback win. In reality, I don't know what changes it was that they made beside, hey, the Steelers defense looks to be having fun losing games, allowing a bunch of yards, so why don't we? And that's exactly what they did. They played like we play defense, and it came back to bite them. So now T'Vondre Sweat didn't get very many house calls on it. He did make some plays behind the line, but nothing too special. Let's see what they say. Great win. Seems like you had a clear game plan. What made the biggest difference today? There was no doubt what our path to victory was, winning in the trenches. When we brought it to the team, T'Vondre loved the approach and helped dial our defense in. Jesus Christ, I hate these things. They just sound so shit. It's not anything like a coach would say. That sounds nothing like a coach at a press conference. Where's my guy going? They are who we thought they were, and all that kind of stuff. That's a press conference right there. I'm a man. I'm 40. That's a press conference right there. This is just really crappy Madden dialogue, This really is. It really is. So we are going to get on into our next game in this episode. That is going to be against the Miami Dolphins. But once again, let's just have a little refresher. One starting with arguably the greatest comeback in Steelers history, okay? And I don't know what the lead the Cardinals had in the Super Bowl was, but that doesn't count even compared to this, because this is against the Ravens, all right? So the greatest comeback in Steelers history happening right here. And then, also around the league, the Philadelphia Eagles 10-2, Chargers 8-4. Out in the West Coast there, Hurts said, I'll bounce off tacklers. East Coast, West Coast, it don't matter. As he bounces off the attempted sack, and he's going to chunk that one in and find Devontae Smith for the touchdown. At least I thought that. Yep, that's who that was. Got him in the end zone for the touchdown, and the Eagles would win that one. They are pretty much trying to go for a repeat, it looks like. Now, how did the game in Atlanta fold out? It was 21-7 at half. We saw this play, this pass play to Drake London in the back corner of the end zone by the Falcons, and they end up winning 35-7. Wow, the Seahawks offense has gotten really crappy. Darnold 16-30, 161 yards and a touchdown, which isn't horrible, but their running game must pretty much be dead at this point, I would imagine. All right, so there's our weekly recap of games that happened this last week. And that's going to take us to our next game here, which is going to be a Monday night battle between the Miami Dolphins and our Pittsburgh Steelers. Because, it's a major rivalry, Miami and Pittsburgh. That's just how they go. It's not really a rivalry in terms of division type stuff. I guess in the AFC, I've seen enough of these games where, weird shit ends up happening and all that kind of stuff. I don't think I'd call it a rivalry yet. But it definitely gets heated between these two teams. That's to say the least. It definitely gets heated. So they're having a pretty atrocious season. The Dolphins are. Pretty atrocious, right? And we are looking to continue our really good season. Last year we went 10-7 under Tomlin. Now that we came in, big shoes to fill. I think we're doing a pretty decent job. We just have a lot of stuff to hammer out before I think we're going to be able to make a run at any kind of playoffs. I will be in the playoffs, I'm fairly certain, depending on how the rest of the AFC works out. But I don't know if we'll be ready to make a run in the playoffs. And with pass plays going like that for 5 yards and our tight end getting knocked out of the game to start in the first quarter, that's not how you make the playoffs. I can tell you that much. I may not be a football coach, but I do know that much about the game. So now here later on, after that play, we find DK Metcalf in the end zone for the touchdown. What a play by this offense. And I'm telling you, these guys, we have what I would consider a semi-schizophrenic style offense, right? Sometimes it seems like our guys can do no wrong. Other times it seems like making a big play is harder than pulling a healthy tooth. Yeah, and it's one of those, I don't know which is which or what it's going to be like in a game. Or does it change in between the first quarter to the second quarter? You know, this puts us up 2 scores here in the first quarter. Right now, Freiermuth bruised ribs. He's always having bruised damn ribs. Toughen your ribs up, man. Damn it. As Boswell's going to come on for the extra point to give us a 10-0 lead. That one's going to be blocked by the Finns. And thankfully we jump on it before anybody else can and take it back. So we got that going for us. I'll say that much. And then leading 9-0. Or 9-3, actually. The Dolphins did end up putting up a field goal as we hand that one off to Caleb Johnson. Bouncing off tacklers. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, the rookie. Saying, you can't stop me. Caleb Johnson takes that one for a good gain, bouncing off 3 different tacklers before they finally softly drag him down from behind. I don't know what that's all about, that tackle, but drag him down from behind. That's going to make it 1st and 10 at the 15. Now just under 8 minutes to go in the second quarter, leading by 6. We need to keep as big a lead as possible. I hate it when this game is in one-score territory. Hand that one off to Gainwell. Gets past one, stiff arms another one, and fights him for about 8 yards down to the 7-yard line. So now it's 2nd and 2 from the 7. So 2nd and 2 here, 7.5 minutes remaining. 6-point lead for our Steelers. Trying to extend on that and make it a 2-score ball game once more. Just don't turn it over. That's going to be the biggest thing. Just do not turn it over. As Rodgers has that snap, hands off to Gainwell, gets past one tackler, thankfully bounces off that tackler. And then gets a couple more yards, but hey, he gets the first down, and that's what matters. 1st and goal. So it's 1st and goal, Steelers from just outside the 4-yard line. Going to be in a shotgun, 3 receivers set. 2 of them to the left side. Play action by Rodgers. Defense holds, throws that one up, and it's almost intercepted. He put no touch on that. Didn't drop it in or nothing. Just tried to line drive it, and he got tipped by a couple of different Dolphin defenders. So now it's 2nd and goal from the 4. Rodgers on the end around to Smith, and we lose yards. Okay. All right, so the first 2 plays that we tried in this goal line operation did not work. Let's try a 3rd one. What the hell? Why not? Coming out in an I formation, 2 tight ends set. Rodgers under center. Gainwell in the backfield. Play action. Rodgers takes off to the right side. He's got space in front. Rodgers, swift of foot. Ayahuasca-fueled old codgerness. Had the old man speed. Turned on the jets and takes it into the corner of the end zone. And somehow this game is going to be 16-3. I can't even begin to describe what happened on that. I really can't. That's shocking. That was truly shocking what happened there. Now, that was the biggest play of that second quarter. Now, the Dolphins would come out and put up a touchdown, and we'd add in one more field goal to make it 19-10 before the half. So, thankfully, we still have a 2-score lead coming into halftime. Now, 2 other teams struggling in the NFC, Dolphins and Cowboys, 4-9. As J.J. McCarthy looks like Michael Vick 2.0, I guess, as he runs out to the right and scrambles about 30 yards, dives into the end zone for his 1 touchdown of the day. Vikings beat the Cowboys 17-13. Now the Lions and the Rams out on the West Coast. Goff is going to fire that one over into the left flat to St. Brown, who goes airborne on the ground, spinning, stumbling, tumbling, rumbling, and flying into the end zone. The Lions take off as Goff and the Lions put up 28 to beat the Rams, 28-14 on the road. Now heading to Mile High Denver. They get the toss out on the left, got space working for him. No matter how many defenders are there and you can't see the goal line, he knew where it was as they would reach out, extend that over, and the Broncos would get the win 24-14 over the Dolphins. Let's take a look at the playoff picture. We are in the wild card right now, just ahead of the Ravens because of the win last week. But we are not leading our division. The Bengals are. So, we got some time. I don't think we'd have to have a major collapse, and I want to say almost lose every other game from this point on to miss out on the playoffs. But I just don't think that's going to happen. All right, so let's jump into the third quarter here as the Dolphins would take it at the opening portion and drive down the field for a field goal. So we once again lead by 6, trying to extend this lead. As we hand that one off to Gainwell, he's going to get a good run up the middle, picks up a couple yards, but enough for the first down. And that's going to make it 1st and 10 Steelers from the 28-yard line. Rodgers in the shotgun, 3 receivers set, has the snap, swing pass over, and that's going to be jumped. And the Dolphins are going to have this one going back the other way. Wilson giving chase, but he's not going to catch him. And that's going to be a pick 6. What in the hell was that? I mean, whenever you run that RPO, the slot guy, Wilson, is supposed to block. And he runs out to block and didn't actually block anybody. He just ran around Asante Samuel. So now the Dolphins have the lead. So here a little later into the fourth quarter, early on, the Dolphins have put up a touchdown, another one. We've put up a field goal, so they lead 27-22. Something, like I said, we found ourselves in a situation pretty often in the early part of the season, found ourselves trailing into the fourth quarter. So here we are once again trying to make another comeback. Trailing by 5. Rodgers drops back. Plenty of time. Fires that over the middle. He's going to hit Miller, who got away. Scotty Boy gets away from the tackler and is brought down at the 8-yard line. Oh, Scotty Boy. Oh, Scotty Boy. As he came across, made a hell of a catch. I mean, really, it took time for him to get open, so give the line some credit for blocking the way they did. As Scotty Boy gets open and takes it down to the 8-yard line, putting us in prime position to try to retake this lead back. Rodgers going to be under center for an I formation. Has the snap, toss out to Gainwell on the right side. He's got space. Gainwell waving to a defender, walks that one in. Touchdown, Steelers. Oh, my goodness. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. What a run by Gainwell. On that, Todd, good block in there, too, especially by Smith to get that last block picked up. Gotta love seeing that one. As that is actually going to establish us with the lead, 28-27. So the question is going to be, do we go for the 2-point conversion or not? That's always going to be the question. And I think your answer's got to kind of be in this situation, yeah, we have to go for the 2-point conversion. We don't have a damn choice. A field goal can beat us right now. We need to make a field goal, tie us at best. So 10.5 minutes to go. We are going for the 2. Rodgers is going to come out under center. 3 receivers set. As he has Gainwell in the backfield, Smith is in the slot left. Has the snap. Play action. Rolls out to his right. Drops that one off to Smith and nowhere to go with it. Oh, God. So that was a failure. We lead 28-27. And now here on the ensuing drive by the Dolphins, 8.5 minutes ago, they are already in field goal territory. As Tyreek Hill gets past one tackler, but not another. As Patrick Queen ends up coming up and making that stop. And that's going to put him at 3rd and 3. And so this is a big-time play by our defense here, needing to make something happen. Tua with the snap. Fires it up for the streak, and that one's going to be swatted away. So we bat that one away at the last second. Deshaun Elliott throws his hand up and knocks that one down. Thankfully, it wasn't caught. That easily put him up probably pretty big by at least a touchdown. So on their field goal attempt, they go boot ball right down the damned middle as they now take the lead 30-28. So here we come later in the fourth quarter, in the final couple minutes, still trailing 30-28. Phillips drops down with what looks like an apparent knee injury for the Dolphins. And I'm not too heartbroken over it, just to be honest with you. 2:34, the thing that does piss me off is the clock stops. 2:34 left in this one. Rodgers in the shotgun. Freiermuth sends in motion across the formation. 2 tight ends. As he hands that one off to Gainwell, left center, bounces off one tackler, still on his feet, and finally he gets thrown down to the turf. And that's going to be a 3rd and 4 as we approach the 2-minute mark. And it looks like our offense isn't going to get this snap off, and they don't. So that will do it. 30-28, 2 minutes remaining. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. After the last game against Buffalo, having to come back against Baltimore, I hate having to do it again. At least we're at home. So here we come. Rodgers in the shotgun has the snap, fires that deep to the left side. He's got Austin, who's got it in his hands. Touchdown Steelers. Oh my goodness. Oh baby, oh baby. What a play by this offense. Calvin Austin got off, got a great jump off the line, got around to the corner, and then, I mean, he was obviously faster than him, so once he got into that open space, all Rodgers had to do was drop it in there, and he almost overthrew him, it looked like, but what a play by this offense, and that is going to give us a lead here in this one. And that's all it would take. The Dolphins couldn't handle our defensive business. So we will take that win 35-30. Like, that was ridiculous. How many times do we have to come back? I hate that crap. I truly, truly do. Not a fan of it. But, hey, it's the way we have to live our life in this game. Now, while we check on this final replay and stuff, I do want to remind y'all to hit the subscribe button if you have not hit it already. Give us a thumbs up if you're like the episode. You're enjoying the fact that college football's on Saturdays, NFL's on Sundays, and overall it's just a great time of year to be alive, if you know what I mean. And then also hit that bell icon. You can be notified of all of our uploads that we do here at Champ and Sons. Whether it's Madden or college football, we've got it all covered for you on this channel. So hit that bell icon to be notified of whenever we do have an upload. Now that is going to take us here to the next, ready for the next episode, where first we will head to Detroit to take on the Lions. That should be a fun one starting in the next episode, everybody. I will see y'all in that one. So as always, stay safe and well. Y'all know how it goes from here, right? Later, y'all.